And there we are.
Hey everyone, it's Ken and Kathy.
With Cushman Coaching and Consulting. And let's talk about what really matters. So tonight is a special broadcast, and we have a dear friend on tonight. Is a graduate from our trainings back 16 years ago now. Over 16 years.
Yeah.
And he had an event that happened in his life that a lot of people would say was just totally tragic, that turned into something really beautiful and has made a difference for a lot of people. And so what we want to do is we want to bring Matt on, let him tell us about his journey and what they've created. And let's bring Matt on right here. Here we go. Hey, Matt.
Hey Matt.
Hello everyone.
So
Good to be
welcome
here.
to.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've actually, had a conversation, and having you on was really exciting to be able to share this with everybody else and really impact some others with what you guys are up to and what difference you've been making.
Absolutely. Well, you both have been a very important part of our lives, Melissa and I, our journey. I've been very emotional lately. I don't know why, so I hope I can make it through all this. But it's great to see you. It brings up a lot of good memories, a lot of good lessons and teachings. Y'all have impacted our life in a major way to this day still. And it's just so good to see your faces and share some time together.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier, and I was just remembering back, you guys coming through the journey, and you were in your in-laws were there, and other family members. Puppy just.
Yeah, the dog just came in.
Live broadcast.
Yes.
Tina, come on. Go on. Sweet girl. Come on. Sweet girl. Go on.
Go.
Go on. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that you guys were, very inspiring during the process, and just seeing you guys together with your family and, making a difference for the people around you and what you guys were creating. It was. And I was actually talking, he was at a training with us that was around a very sensitive topic, and with his mother-in-law. And I went, man, you know what? I don't know that I could have done that with my mom or my mother-in-law.
Well, she's a wonderful lady, and that's
Yes,
why we love her. She's always up for the adventure. So is my wife and her whole family. It's been quite a ride and continues to be. So anybody that knows Melissa and Andrea and the whole Simpkin clan has been blessed for sure.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Stephanie, yep, absolutely.
So tell us about Hope from Harrison.
Okay, so Hope from Harrison is a nonprofit organization that we started, I guess, back in 2007. We started as Hope for Harrison when our second child, Harrison, who we conceived after we left Summit. Our first child, Maxwell, was conceived during Summit, pretty much. She was pregnant the whole time. And then a couple of years later, we had Harrison. We were living in Texas at the time. We had left Florida for work, and we didn't know what was wrong during pregnancy. We thought we were having a normal pregnancy. Well, out came Harrison, and he couldn't swallow. He couldn't breathe. He was blue. He went without oxygen for a little bit, and he just had some genetic critical medical needs. After going down the rabbit hole of 3 hospitals, 2 states, tests, we basically concluded that he was a genetic anomaly, and there really was no diagnosis for him. And we just, we released that at some point. We didn't, of course we wanted to know why, but at some point we couldn't figure it out. So we ended up, turning it, for me, it was about, I don't know, a month or 2 in the process, and we were knee deep in it. It was the darkest days of our life. It was just heavy. It was, you could feel it in the air. And we were trying to decide if we had to trach him or not. And it was just a very difficult decision. And everyone kept asking all the time, what's wrong? We were asking, what's wrong with Harrison? What's wrong with Harrison? And it turned out that I just had this moment, and I realized that there was nothing wrong with him, that he was born exactly who he was supposed to be. And when I changed that perspective, and a lot of that goes to the trainings, it was like I learned to look at it different. And when I did that, it's like the whole world opened up at that moment, because I went from seeing a child that was broken to seeing a child that was absolutely perfect and everything in his life was meant to be his path. And once I learned to embrace that, it didn't change anything. It didn't change our circumstances. It didn't change the realities of his challenges and our challenges, but it changed the way I could embrace him and love him, and it changed the way that we were able to be with him on his short journey. So his journey lasted about 4 months. We ended up moving from 3 hospitals, 2 states, back to Florida to be with family. And, he passed away at home. He actually passed away in my arms. We brought him home. It was tough to get him out of the hospital and get him there. He was on all the tubes and the oxygen monitors, and we were up 24 hours a day with him. And, we had care, but we had the best insurance, but it would only give you 48 hours a week, just enough for the weekend for a nurse to come in and let you breathe. But all during the week, we were 24 hours a day with him. And, the story when he passed, he was up all night. He'd gotten sick, and his heart rate went way up. And, there were so many magical moments along the way. And you say magical in quotes because there's tragedy layered in the whole thing. But my wife was up with him all night, and his heart rate was going bonkers, and he was sick. And it was my turn to come in for the shift. And, just as spirit would have it, he was fine. He wasn't fine, but she was working with him. And the moment she handed him to me, then he passed away. He wasn't going to die in her arms. So it happened with me. And, and that was it. That was the run. That was the 4 months we got with him. And to this day, I don't normally get this emotional, but for some reason it's coming up today. But, most of the memories I have are, of joy and of love, because one of the biggest things is it was so dark, but on the opposite side of that, I have never experienced love in such an abundance in my life to this day. And he gave us that. We felt the love of our community. We felt the love of the world. We had people coming to us, you guys, the whole community, people from all over the world were just feeding us, and you could feel that. And I don't talk about it much, but the moment he died in my arms, there was a vacuum of energy that left. And this is the only time I've ever felt this in my life. And it's hard to describe, and it's only something you experience. You can't ever tell someone how to feel this, but the moment he left, there was this instant void that left, and he was gone. And the ambulance was there, and we were riding to the hospital, and all of that. And that was that abundance, that love, that support that he needed to keep him going. This is my conclusion anyways. And when he died, that left instantly. It was a vacuum. And when we rode to the hospital and we were in the hospital, I knew it. I could feel in my soul. He wasn't coming back. It was over. It was done. But he created that. He created that abundance when he was here. So when it was gone, it was so easy to feel that it was gone, because it was gone. There was no middle with him. It was all this amazing love, and then this void that happened. So I could go on forever about it. It's something that was obviously profound. It's been 12 years, and you get busy with life, and we were fortunate enough to have our rainbow baby, they call it. When you lose a child and you have a baby on the backside, it's called your rainbow baby. So we have Harper, and our life's very busy, and we still cherish his memory. But those lessons and those experiences of love and compassion and empathy are some core values that I carry with me today, that he implanted in who I am, and in the work we do with Hope from Harrison, why we do it every year, and why we pick these families and continue to show up at Sunfest and do this work. So,
well, tell us about the organization.
A little bit of Hope from Harrison.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Yeah, I just want to, before we move to that, I just want to say real quick, I want to thank you for your willingness to be so real and so vulnerable, and how important I think that is for people who are listening, who maybe are going through stuff, particularly men. It's okay to be vulnerable and to be touched and to be moved by our lives.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the. I was telling Ken before I jumped on here that when I wrote my eulogy for Harrison, I have these lessons he taught me, and one of them was receiving. And one of the hardest things, and we learned this from you guys in the trainings, is people don't realize how hard it is to receive, and one of the hardest things we went through, and I mean this. This isn't just a statement. It's true. One of the hardest things we did was opening the freaking door and accepting the lasagna, and looking at people and having to take that in. That was as hard as anything we did, and we remember that when we help other families now. That's in our DNA, and we understand. We're not in it with them at that moment. It's something you realize that when you're going through life and it sucks, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to ask for help, be vulnerable, be willing to receive, be willing to let people hold you up, because that's not normally our disposition. We're not always takers. We're handling our own business, and it's hard to shift into something and be vulnerable and be able to receive. But that's, again, a lesson that only this broken child could have taught me.
That's awesome.
Just had a comment from David Nervin. The only thing harder than asking for help is accepting it.
Yeah. Really.
Absolutely. That was a pinnacle. And I think about it today, as I go through life and have troubles in relationships and business and whatever it is, it's hard to stop and ask for help and be able to receive it, But that's where the gold's at. The gold is always in the vulnerable moments. The gold's always when you let yourself up, The gold's always, on the thing that feels so hard to do,
Yeah. We forget that sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of times. It's like, we wake up each morning and we reset back to this thing, and you have to relearn this stuff every day.
Yeah.
It's hard just to apply it,
but so now you wanted to talk about the what was it you wanted to ask?
No, just what does Hope for Harrison do now?
Well, we've had I can't
tell us how you created it, or and the idea behind it, and then what you've done along the way, and
well, I mean, a true snapshot of where we are right now is, it's existing. We're still active, but over the last few years, as we've had, our second child, our third child, but our second child here, and life is busy, careers and stuff. We've pretty much gotten down to one event a year. We're doing Sunfest for the 12th year. When Harrison was alive, they asked us to come man a beer booth, and sell beer, and we get the proceeds, just like all festivals and events do. And we did it, and he was alive. He actually passed away before the event happened. So this year, every year, is right around the time that Sunfest is. He passed away on April 4th. Sunfest is always like a month later, May 5th. So this is our 12th year doing Sunfest. We go out every year. We go to Sunfest. We bring in about 100 volunteers every year. It used to be 5 days. Now it's 3. But and we have a blast. We go out and we pick a family. We pick one family. We donate all the proceeds to that family. We bring awareness to their cause. We bring light to this child that's going through this situation, and this family that needs to be lifted up. And we all come together. We rally the volunteers. We go sell beer, and we have a blast. Sunfest is a fun music festival every year. No matter what kind of music you like, there's always something there for you to see. The energy's great. It's on the water. It's usually beautiful days, a little rain maybe, but not too often. It doesn't last. It's always a sunny sunshine coming through, and we just work our butt off and have a blast. And we raise a good bit of money for these families, and we pass it along. So it's the once a year we stop and remember Harrison and pay it forward.
What do you actually do during Sunfest? What would the volunteers be doing?
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's, what you're good at. We have people that show up that are accountants. Well, they count the money. We have people that are promoters, and they show up and bring in customers. We got other people that just like to pour the beer and hand it on and be behind the scenes. So there's a space
So
for everybody.
it's like a beer garden?
Yeah, it's just a beer tent. They have them all over. They have multiple ones. They have, other organizations, baseball teams, and different things. It's about. I think Sunfest is the largest. I may be fact checked on this, but I think they're the largest volunteer festival in America. So it's all volunteer run. Every aspect of the event is volunteers. So
now are the other tents raising money for something?
Yeah, they're raising for their baseball program or their band or whatever, whatever cause. There's other causes out there. Awesome. And we don't really get to promote our cause at their event. We kind of just put on our shirts and it has our name on it. People will ask, we share the story, but it's really just about generating, a little awareness amongst our group and anybody that asks.
So who's the family that you're focused on this time?
Yeah, this year we just selected our family. Her name is October Storm Barnaby, and she's a young baby that was born. Quick story is her mother was in labor for 4 days, and the placenta burst while in labor and had to do an emergency C-section. And she went without oxygen for like 9 minutes or so. So she's got some severe brain injuries. So we're going to be sharing that on our Facebook page and social. We have a link to our website with her story, a picture of her, a donate button. If you can't make it to the event but would like to support the family, you can donate to PayPal and we'll send 100% of the money to them. So, but yeah, it's all the stories, all the children over all the years, every year it's a different story. We've helped children with just so many different needs. And this year, October has a very similar story to Harrison. She couldn't swallow. She has some similar disabilities that Harrison had. But yeah, that's her story. And then her family right now is going through exactly what we went through. So it's good to come together and help them out.
Yeah, what a great way. And, if you're out there watching, what a great way to make a difference, right? You can go to Sunfest and make a difference and, kind of have fun. And if you're not somebody who wants to be out front promoting, you can be in the back. And
maybe we got to get Margot to come help out.
Yeah, Margot would be awesome. Yes.
She'd be out in front.
Yeah, Margot definitely be.
Jody Flanzer showed up last year out of the blue, and she had a blast. So she's coming back this year. So Stacy Smith and Curtis Smith, a lot of our family then have been by to help. So yeah,
awesome.
And and if you do it on a Saturday or a Sunday when there's 2 shifts, they'll let you come in early and see free music before your shift, or obviously stay after and see free music after. So. You get a little bit of the festival out of it too. It's not all work, it's about a 5-hour shift.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, cool. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a great time. It's like a party environment, you're just selling beer and making a difference. Mm-hmm. What a great thing to do. And if you're somebody who doesn't like to get out, what a great way to get out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of us have been kind of in lockdown and not getting out. And so what a great way to get out and meet people and be around people and contribute and make a real big difference for someone.
I've never had anybody come at least and tell me that they had a horrible time and they wish they'd stayed home. But I do have a lot of people that tell me that, they give me hugs and they thank me for the opportunity because, A, they have fun, but at the end they know they're making a difference. And that's the coolest part is they're having a blast and really doing something for the community.
Yeah, and it's, who specifically you're making a difference for.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
A lot of times when we're contributing to something.
You're not sure it's even going to make it there.
Right. In this case, who it's for and that it's going to this family that's really in need right now and what a big difference it'll make for them. And so I think it's such a great opportunity for people.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
They send me the link to the sign up in the private chat, and I'll post it in the comments. And if you don't have a comment section on your side.
Yeah, I'm going to send you 2 links. There's going to
Okay.
be the link to the that, and then also the registration. This her story and the registration.
All
So
right, cool.
Okay,
you'll have both
great.
of those things.
So while you're doing that, when I was going to say this, so there's volunteering for Sunfest. There's making direct contribution. Is there any other way that people might be able to support?
At this time, this is really our flagship event each year. Moving forward, my vision has always been to hire a CEO to run our organization. So if anyone knows of someone out there that has experience running a nonprofit, we're looking for someone that really has some experience writing for grants. Our mission is we've never had problems um, getting support. Our challenge has been someone to man the ship. I put a couple years into it where I tried to make it my full-time profession, and we actually put on a couple of our own private festivals called Hope Fest that we had our challenges. It rained both years for my festival, so the universe was telling me I wasn't supposed to run that, I guess. So we moved on, but that is the vision, and I'm not going to close shop ever. We're always going to do something and keep this open, but the goal is to get to a point where we could have a CEO, maybe someone that comes in part-time that helps us get this off the ground, someone that might want to run an organization like this, 20 hours a week or something to start, or volunteer to start, put out some grants and create a position for yourself. So we're very flexible, but we would love for the universe to provide us that person and help get this back off the ground, because we can do so much good every time we put our mission out, we put our statement out, we've done anything. There's a magic that happens. I'm going to get a little hokey with you here, but Harrison's magic still works. And every time we step forward, every year we have to do, at one point we were doing 150 volunteers, 125, 150. And every single year down to the finish line, Melissa and I are stressed out. We fill every single spot, and it happens. And there's always a magic with this organization. There's always something that comes together. It works. We just need someone to drive the bus. So if there's anybody out there that knows anybody that would be interested in having a conversation, that's what we really need at this time.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
That's great. I'm actually getting my brain working on that right now. Anybody that I might know.
Yeah.
Thinking of a couple people.
I think I have an idea.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of potential. And
yeah.
But we got to keep it going. I've already warned my kids that, they're going to be in charge someday. We're not quitting on this. So whatever it looks like, it'll be here on some level.
Awesome. So did you put the links in the...
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It'll show up on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, so the links will be in the chat. So if anyone wants to sign up
Awesome.
and read about it, it's all there.
So anything you want to share with us, to leave us with, and
yeah, I guess to bring this full circle, because you're at the beginning and here we are, not at the end, but at the next chapter. And just again, thank you to you guys. I mean, when you're going through the trainings, they're not always the most pleasant places to be, and you're questioning yourself and you're finding out all your things about yourself. But looking back so many years later, with the wonderful children we've had, the wonderful marriage I've had, and being able to persevere through all these things and the lessons we've learned, I don't know that I consciously think about a training every day or a lesson I learn, but I'm very clear that the values that I have today and the fundamental tools that I have that have gotten me through life to this point and have me so optimistic about the next 40 years all go back to the trainings that you guys put forth. And just want you to know that we think very highly of you, and we appreciate you, and we love you guys. So
well, thank you.
We love you too.
It's
and
made a big impact, and I know anyone watching that's been through this with us would agree. And so thank you.
Yeah. I think you hit it right on the head as far as the work and doing the trainings and the work. It's really not about the training, though. It's a pivotal experience that people will remember fondly for a long time. But it's the what happens afterwards that matters.
Yeah,
and,
those
and that
pivotal lessons.
Because learning experientially, and through that process, you embody it. It's like riding a bike. You don't think about it. Like every time I've gotten on a bike, I don't remember the first time I rode, though I can, but it doesn't come into my consciousness, right? But all of that's there, and and I think when we were talking earlier, it's just some things that I've gotten through because of what I learned, and without even thinking about it anymore. So,
absolutely, yeah. In a world of instant gratification, it's hard to look for instant results. It doesn't always happen, but you do the work. It takes time, but it's always there.
Yeah, I think a lot of us really experienced with the pandemic and the change in so many things, and some of the other challenges that we've all been experiencing over the last, 5 or 6 years, and then through the pandemic, the tools have helped us got through.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was sitting there, I know, in the middle of the pandemic, going, what would be different if I had never done the work?
Yeah.
And so anyway, but thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Well, thank you for having me on. Thank you for helping get the word out. It was great timing. Great. Appreciate you reaching out. And if anyone wants to join us.
We're watching our grandchildren next weekend, and I'm going to see if I can enroll them into going down to Sunfest, and we can volunteer and then maybe hang out for a little bit. And
yeah, come see us. And we need a lot of help Sunday night. So Sunday nights are our big open spot for Sunday evening. So
but
there's other slots available too.
Can you give us an idea of some of the different slots?
It's Friday. It's Friday like 5 to 11. It's Saturday noon to 5, 5 to 11. Sunday, I think noon to 5, 5 to 10. I think it closes a little early on Sunday, but the exact hours are on our registration. But those are the general slots. It's about a 5-hour shift, and goes faster than you think. And
you give us who are the headliners that are.
Yeah, we've got Jack Johnson this year, a band called The Killers. You've got Ziggy Marley. You've got some good stuff. There's always good stuff. There's always bands. The older we get, the less attached we are to new stuff. But you always discover something new, and it's just a blast. It's a good time, and the people, the diversity there, and the people, it's just wonderful.
Well, if you're watching this now or you watch it later, make sure you go down and support.
Yeah.
You can. And maybe we'll see you down there.
And if you're there and you're not volunteering, come by and say hi and grab a beer from us. We're right in front of the stage on Flagler, the permanent stage that's right there on Flagler. We're not on the main stage. We're in the middle of Flagler, right next to the amphitheater that's there downtown, the West Palm Beach Amphitheater. I don't know the name of it. I forgot the name. Meyer Amphitheater.
Okay.
I think the sponsors change every year, but it's right there on Flagler. So.
David Durbin. Musicians who were around when phone had wires.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Yeah.
Seen Bob Dylan there. I've seen, we've seen over the years. We've seen so many wonderful acts.
Cool.
Oh well, great, and thank you for all you do for community here. Right,
Well, I appreciate
it really does make a big difference, and it's so touching to see. It really is.
Thanks for touching
it's an
us
honor
all and inspiring us.
I appreciate it. It's an honor to carry it on, and if you really want to meet a super community involvement person, go talk to my wife. She's a pioneer in the Jewish community right now and doing some wonderful things as well. So.
Oh,
Really
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to have her on now next time.
Yeah.
You should. She's a volunteer queen. She's out there every single day making a difference in the Jewish community and promoting Jewish values. And yeah, she's doing a lot of good stuff. So we should catch up with her sometime.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
We will definitely do that.
Cool. Give
Awesome.
Melissa our love and the rest of the clan.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So
All
good
right.
to see you, Jason.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks. We'll
All
see you
right.
then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, really wonderful. I mean, just the work that they do is just, it's so touching, and I'm so moved by how willing he was to be vulnerable with people. and with everyone here, and
You made me cry.
I really appreciate that. We need so much more of that in this world right now. And
Because when we don't release that emotion, it
Yeah.
comes out in ways that don't serve.
yeah, so appreciated today. So appreciated.
Well, everybody, again, if you have a chance, look in the comments, check out his website, and go down to the Sunfest. Have a good time, volunteer, hear some good
Yes.
music, drink some beers, and make a difference.
Yes, and sell some beers.
Sell
Maybe
some
drink some beers later, but
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
some.
no. That's for afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards you buy the beers. Okay, so thanks for coming. And if you can, jump in and volunteer. It's really important.
And let me remind you, we're going to start next month doing evening shows. So I think we'll be looking at 8 o'clock. Look for our next announcement. And we'll see you on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock.
Bye.
Bye.